Let's get back to politics and my editorial at the top of the hour. President Trump pushing hard for a win on tax reform, tax cuts. He's promised a big announcement this Wednesday, day after tomorrow. Tony Sayegh is with us, Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs at the U.S. Treasury. Tony, welcome to the program.
Great to be with you, Stuart.
Now, do you see it my way? I say President Trump is laying down the law to the Republican Party. You got to get this done. What say you?
Well, like you, I'm very bullish on the president's leadership on tax reform. Don't forget, Stuart, he campaigned on tax reform and won largely because of his economic agenda. In the recent Fox poll, you had nearly 3 in 4 Americans say they don't just want tax reform, they want it this year. 61% of Democrats, 74% of independent voters want tax reform this year. The mandate is to do it. So what you're going to see on Wednesday is the president lay out an outline of broad principles and priorities that we believe must be in tax reform.
Yes, and he's telling the Republican Party, you get behind this. Or you talk about it. You get behind something and you give it to me.
Well, I'm happy to report that Secretary Mnuchin meets weekly with leadership on Capitol Hill, including Chairman Brady from Ways and Means. He has meetings on tax reform every day. The president and he discuss it regularly. We have 100 people at Treasury working on tax policy. We're ready for this moment. The other important piece, Stuart...
What do you expect on Wednesday?
As I said...
Just broad outlines?
Well, what you're going to see is the importance of a comprehensive tax reform, a plan that includes rate cuts, a middle-income tax cut, small business tax cuts that make our companies much more competitive in this global landscape where we are very uncompetitive at the moment because of our tax policy, and code simplification.
Okay, what about a border tax? Is that going to be in there on Wednesday?
All of that is being discussed. Those are parts of ongoing discussions and negotiations with Capitol Hill. These are the broad principles and priorities of the administration. The important thing to also understand, Stuart, that the emphasis, and you've mentioned it several times in your program this morning, is growth. Sustained economic growth, which we've not had as a country since the financial crisis. You see the negative impact on real Americans, their wages, and our economy as a result.
Now, we've heard it all before. We've heard it many, many times before. You've got to cut taxes to get some growth. And the president's now saying you'll see the plan on Wednesday. He's going out on a limb. Because if he doesn't get the Republican Party to agree on tax cuts, he's in trouble. His whole program, his presidency, is in trouble. He's out on a limb here.
I think our economy is in trouble if we don't follow a very pro-growth policy that the president, the secretary, have all been discussing. The people are ready for this.
Work with me, Tony.
I am.
This is
always love to do it with you.
This week is crunch time. If the Republican Party doesn't come together on this proposal from the president on Wednesday, it's sunk.
And I'm telling you, Stuart, that there is more than meets the eye. I think there is a very strong combined effort between the Hill and the administration to make sure we put forward the best, most comprehensive tax plan that generates economic growth and job creation. I think we're very aligned on a lot of the priorities here, and I think that's why you see the president, in the way that we've been accustomed to seeing him doing, taking real bold action and leadership and pushing the envelope forward. I'm very pleased.
Well, when you go back to Washington, you gather up your Republican friends and you tell them, get together, unite, because everything's on the line.
I think they're watching now.
I hope so. Tony Sayegh, thanks for joining us, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank